What's up, Knights of X? We have a lot to talk about today. We just got hit with a bunch of news from Capital Games about a bunch of new characters coming out, new Legendary Mace, new Order 66 raid, and a brand new Galactic Legend that's coming to the game for the Pirate faction, which is something so bizarre and crazy. I never would have predicted the next Galactic Legend was going to be a pirate. That's going to be a discussion for later on, but today's main emphasis is going to be about the new Order 66 raid. I'm not going to go into inline depth detail about the mechanics or the different bonuses on the different tiers. Today we're just going to talk about a general overview and share my thoughts of the pros and cons of the new raid and my concerns going forward with the whole raid system and just the direction of raids in general for Galaxy of Heroes. So I'm going to share all my thoughts. I'm not going to read the post line by line, guys, but there is a lot to talk about and digest about it, and I kind of made like a little bit of a little slide going on to talk about exactly the pros and cons. But here, if you guys have not seen the news, it's obvious. There's a brand new raid coming out, Order 66. They went through all the details today of all the characters required. Talk about, the pirates not being accessible right away. How long is the raid going to last and stuff like that. So they go into all these details, but I will go into this on a later video. It's pretty much showing you the multiplier and stuff like that. We'll have a bunch of different raids videos coming out, but I want to talk about the main thing for today is the pros and the cons. And in my opinion, there's kind of more cons than pros. But to start out with the pros of the raid, in my opinion, is that according to Capital Games, this is going to require less time than the Naboo raid, which to me is a huge plus because the Naboo raid was nothing but a huge time crunch and a time sink. And any less time in the game, no offense, is better. I enjoy Grand Arena. That's my favorite game mode. I do enjoy Conquest for the most part, but the raid system is just a grind. So we're going to take their word for it. The scary part about their post, and the reason I put a little highlight here, is they questioned, do attempts take the same, more or less amount of time than Battle for Naboo raid or Speeder Bike? They said, we definitely heard you on this one, and these attempts should be quicker. So that's not a guarantee. We know how Capital Games has been in the past with like certain keywords like that. I really wish it was definitely quicker. So I'm going to take their word for it. I'm going to put it as a pro. Any less time with the raid is better. I love this game a lot, but I can't be on it for 2 hours a day or an hour every day or every 3 days whenever you do the raid just to get a raid run in. And I hope the RNG is not high. Doesn't seem like it will be, but still early on. The second pro for me is that it is Revenge of the Sith era, probably my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. So we get really cool, thematic, with Lord Vader and stuff like that. A little later on, we're going to talk about the cons about it, about the real, canon and the thematic part about that. But visually, I'm hoping it's going to be awesome. I love Revenge of the Sith, like I said. Lord Vader got a model touch-up, very cool. So I'm hoping that it doesn't disappoint in terms of the fun and value of the Revenge of the Sith movie. So really cool that we're talking about that faction and that era of Star Wars. So that is the second pro for me. The third pro about this post is there's a new Galactic Legend announcement, and that's really fun because new GLs give us something to push forward and towards in the game. The faction is questionable, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone in the game was asking for a Galactic Legend pirate. I mean, me personally, I was hoping for maybe possibly Thrawn or a Revan or something like that. But the pirate faction, which is brand new, are getting a Galactic Legend. So that's a positive. New characters coming to the game, new Galactic Legend, new, different metas. That's fun. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later on in the cons. But new GL announcement is always fun. The fourth thing I want to talk about is existing team for Naboo raid is available. So I will show you in the second slide all the available characters, but there is a functional Jedi Vanguard team from the Naboo raid that a majority of the player base should have if they were participating in that raid. It's going to be Jedi Vanguard with Keller and Beck, I believe Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Luminara, and Shaak Ti could be a functional team that you can use. There's some other ones. I think there was Eat Koff or Jedi Knight Guardian, one of them that you could form. Not sure how they're going to do, but if you're someone that just wants to submit one team or make sure you can participate in the raid, there is an existing team already built in from the Naboo raid where you can actually score some points. Now, that might not be the end goal for everybody. Might not be going for the bare minimum. So, not really accessible for a majority of teams. But you guys are looking to just participate and get a single raid run in and just get the minimum rewards as a guild or to even participate. There is already an existing team that will function in the raid. Might not be the best, might not be the highest scoring, but you could still get some value and some rewards. So that to me is a positive that we already have a pre-existing team that can participate. And for me, this should be number 5. I forgot to update the slide, but number 5 is going to be better guild milestones. And you guys are going to see here, they show the comparison between the old and the new, and they are lowering the requirements for tier 3, which is nice. And as you go up, they added a tier for tier 4, which is going to give you a little bit better rewards of 28 million. And then over here, they lowered tier 5 and 6 by quite a big amount. So that is really nice. The max score remains the same, so not many guilds are going to get this on day 1. Unless you're in a very pay-to-win guild that are really like requiring you to get these characters on day 1. It's going to be insane. And even on day 1, we're going to get more into it. There's no way guilds are going to max this out on day 1. It's going to be virtually impossible. We don't have all the characters or even the GLs yet to get a max score. So that is the somewhat of the plus, is that they're adding better rewards, or less. You have to put less in to get the rewards you were getting before. So minus 2 million on tier 3, minus 26 million on tier 5, and they added a tier 4. That to me is a plus. Helps guilds get those better rewards early on. But now we got to talk about the negatives, because that doesn't mean necessarily anything if you don't have the teams or characters to actually play the raid. So let's talk about the cons. Have it on the next slide here, and I will move over my webcam for here so you can see it. But this is probably the most pay-to-win raid they have ever released on day 1. Majority of the teams, 4 of the teams, are completely non-free-to-play at the moment. I mean, Jedi Master Mace Windu is extremely expensive. Requires all the dark side clones, these new Jedi Vanguard factions. Jocasta Nu is his lifters, who's not going to be as strong, and you guys know how Conquest is, how difficult it can be, and grindy, so that's extremely discouraging. So you have that. Dark Side Clones, I know they have the Nightfall event to help with the shards, but still, heavy Chirotech investment, high relics, really, really a heavy investment for a raid, and they're not even all free-to-play friendly yet. As of today, only Apo is free-to-play farmable. So that's the second one. We have 2 pirate teams that don't even exist yet. Like, that is just insanity. You're releasing content, and there's not even the team you can even, go to play with it. Even if you wanted to whale on it day 1, I don't know if the marquee character is going to come out right away, but that's still going to be very hard for players to achieve. You're pretty much mandating players to drop money to get the marquee leader for the pirate faction just to participate with your leftover pirates that not many players might have up and running either. Like, I'm fortunate enough to have Hondo and Nest and Santa all up and running, but that doesn't mean that a majority of the player base will have them. So very discouraging that 2 of the pirate teams are not even going to be functional, and they're going to be required for the raid. Obviously, the new Bad Batch are extremely expensive with the Chirotech investment, and they're not really required for a legendary unit or a character. They're pretty much only required for this raid. Do I think they're a great team? Absolutely. They're really good at taking out Queen Amidala on offense. They're pretty annoying on defense. They're a fun team, but that's a heavy investment for a raid. And if you guys, early to mid-game players, you're not going to want to, take away from other projects on the Journey Guide just to farm this new Bad Batch faction. Like, it is extremely hard. And the Chirotech are crazy, crazy expensive for that team. So that is a negative for me. Pretty much, this is extremely pay to win. Not very free-to-play friendly. So all those guilds that were getting those higher milestones are going to get a significant reduction in rewards, which does really suck. So that is definitely a negative out the gate. It's going to take a long time for players to be able to participate and get higher rewards in this raid. It's just going to take months until these characters become free-to-play, and then even that's going to take time to farm them up. So unfortunately, this raid is extremely pay to win. Which gets me to my second point. As of right now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there are granted abilities in this raid. So there are certain abilities that are not going to pop up right away. this, in my opinion, means I don't think you're going to be able to fully auto this raid. It seems to be certain opportunities where you have to target Lord Vader, so you have to be like targeting him at certain times when you kill a clone. So that to me kind of sucks. Maybe there'll be a faction that will be able to full auto it, but as of right now, preliminary, looking at the granted abilities and all of that, it doesn't seem like this raid is going to be very auto-able if you have to use certain abilities during certain times. That is definitely a drawback. I know for the current Naboo raid, Gungans, if you have the Omicron, are absolutely A-okay with this, but not going to be as easy. And that's another thing. As of right now, I don't think there is a raid Omicron for this raid at the moment. So maybe possibly the new Pirates are going to have a raid Omicron. I guarantee you one of the new marquees for the Pirates will have a raid Omicron, which is kind of annoying because not only do you have to wail on them, but you also have to apply an Omicron. That's just speculation though, so definitely preliminary. I'm thinking this raid is not going to be very autoable. And that leads to con number 3. This raid, like, similar to point 1, it is requiring a brand new Galactic Legend that's not even announced yet, and 3 conquest units for max score. So that means new GL Pirate, who we have no idea who's going to be, not even announced, a long time away. 3 conquest characters, which is going to be Jocasta Nu, who I'm fortunate enough to have, but not very early game players are going to have her, or mid game. SM33, and then an unannounced conquest leader that we have no idea who it's going to be as well. So this raid is coming out. We don't have all the teams accessible. It's just kind of frustrating. So that to me is the third con. And number 4 kind of ties into exactly 1 and 3. This raid is not extremely thematic, and that means that Revenge of the Sith is all about the storming of the temple. Who is in the temple? We have Kenobi and Yoda. Why aren't Kenobi and Yoda able to participate in this raid? No, we have to use pirates because we all know that Hondo Ohnaka was helping Lord Vader during the Order 66 raid. Like, that is just ridiculous. The fact that Lord Vader, I know I made a video a couple months ago talking about this. Why can't Vader be used in the Order 66 raid when he literally stormed the temple? Why does Tarkin have to be the leader? Why can't we use Lord Vader? At least make him available. If you want to have players use Tarkin because Lord Vader's not available in their rosters, fine. But at least allow us to use our Lord Vader with the new dark side clones. That's just kind of annoying. I mean, the Bad Batch were around during the Order 66 raid, but they were not in the temple. These requirements just seem kind of so out of, like, the blue in terms of, like, canon, if you want to call it. Not saying this game has to be canon to a T, but it's just not very thematic. Why do we have to have a Galactic Legend pirate to be able to complete an Order 66 raid? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Mace was, no offense, was before the temple was even raided, so having him as a hero unit required for the Order 66 raid, I get it. They need to make some sort of monetization for it and require certain teams, but I just wish they went about it a little bit better. I wish Kenobi was able to be used. I wish Yoda, who were literally the ones that stopped the signal from going out, telling all Jedi to return back that the war was over. Like, they were the ones that stopped the clones and helped send that message. So that's just my opinion, guys. Am I excited for the raid? I am excited. I'm definitely concerned for the majority of the player base. I know my guild's probably going to be shooting for as high as crate as possible in the beginning. They're not going to require us to spend money or anything like that, but my alt account is probably going to take a huge hit in rewards because I am not going to have a lot of these teams up and running. And my free-to-play, definitely going to be in some trouble. I have to figure out how I want to take that direction. I was looking for a Lord Vader rush, trying to work on those dark side clones, but it is going to be very hard to be able to participate in this raid right away. And I forgot to bring this up before, but I also want to mention about the direction of raids in general in this game. I've mentioned this in live streams before. I really miss the format of when raids would require a character or something that would really be fun to progress with. Like, the way the raids are now is that you are pushing all these requirements for the raid itself to get these materials to gear your characters up more, get more relic materials, only for the next raid. So it just feels like a circle. We're in this constant circle with raids where you have to keep up to maintain with what you're getting instead of gaining something more positive about it. It just, we are doing this to exist, to just keep the same thing over and over in this circle, where you had something like the Sith raid where you're all working towards a goal of unlocking a very cool character that is not absolutely, game meta defining, but a very strong asset to your roster, where it does require a good guild effort to try to get and obtain, but not at the same time completely meta defining or breaking, but something that incentivizes you to farm that node or that raid. It just seems like we're just going through this loop where it's a raid, you have to gear up a bunch of characters and stuff like that to get these rewards, which that help you get, relic materials and gear, and it's just the same thing over and over again. And I kind of miss the old structure where you are working towards a character or something fun like that. That to me is what makes raids fun. You're farming a fun character to unlock, not gear or relics just to gear up for the next raid coming forward. But that's just my opinion, guys, and I'm very curious to what you guys have to say down below. So please leave all your comments in the comment section. Did I get this right? Am I, overlooking something? Am I missing the big picture here? This is just my initial thoughts on the raid announcement. So, like I said, guys, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Leave all your comments in the comment section down below, and subscribe to the channel to become a Knight of X. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.